Hello and welcome to the 60th episode of Jazzology. And I want to emphasize that the 60th episode of Jazzology presented by Savage Content. I'm your host, Willard Jenkins, and we're here alternating Fridays giving two jazz fans the opportunity to compete against each other for a chance to win $100. Each contestant will be asked a question worth 2 points. If they're unable to answer that question correctly, their opponent will have a chance to steal the question for 1 point. We will ask 10 questions, and at the end of the 10 questions, the person with the lowest score will get a bonus question for an opportunity to tie the score, no matter how far they're behind. If they're successful, the game will go to sudden death. The person in the lead at the end of the regulation will go first, and each contestant will take turns trying to answer the sudden death multiple choice question until we have a winner. And now let's meet this week's contestants for Jazzology episode 60. Our reigning Jazzology champion is Matt Merewitz. Matt's been hanging tough. We'll see if we can knock him out today. I don't know. But Matt Merewitz is the founder and director of Fully Altered Media since 2007. Matt Merewitz has become known as one of the most in-demand publicists and consultants in the world of creative music. Matt resides an hour north of New York City with his wife, daughter, and their chocolate labradoodle, Sunny. Our challenger for this 60th episode is a returning challenger, and she is vocalist, composer Andromeda Turre, who trained at the Boston Conservatory and at Berklee College of Music. Andromeda's brand new album, just dropped, is titled From the Earth, and it's a programmatic jazz suite illuminating environmental justice. Andromeda Turre also hosts Growing Up Jazz on Sirius XM's Real Jazz channel. And now let's get to today's Jazzology. And as our reigning champion, Matt Merewitz goes first. You ready, Matt?
Yep.
All right, Matt. Just after graduating high school, NEA jazz master pianist Kenny Barron toured with which of the following artists? Would that have been A, Jimmy Heath, B, Yusef Lateef, C, James Moody, D, Bill Barron, or E, Lou Donaldson?
You said just following high school?
Just after high school, yes.
Well, I think technically I know he played with Jimmy Heath, Yusef Lateef, and James Moody. Obviously, Bill Barron was his brother. Lou Donaldson, I don't know. But, I mean, if you're talking about, I'm pretty sure that Kenny Barron moved to New York in order to play with B. Yusef Lateef.
That is correct. That is correct. Straight out of high school, Kenny Barron toured with Yusef Lateef. Andromeda, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, Andromeda, where, and she's red hot at the moment, where did saxophonist Lakeisha Benjamin study music? Was that A, New England Conservatory, B, Manhattan School of Music, C, NYU or New York University, D, the New School, or E, the Juilliard School?
I think it's D, New School.
That is correct. Lakeisha Benjamin did indeed study at the New School in New York, New York. Okay, Matt, you're up next, and the score is tied. Matt, another question involving an NEA Jazz Master, and that would be NEA Jazz Master vocalist Diane Reeves was born where? Was Diane Reeves born in A, Los Angeles, B, Denver, C, Detroit, D, Chicago, or E, Indianapolis?
I know that Diane Reeves to this day lives in Detroit. Well, no, wait. No. She lives in Denver. And this is tough. I know she's a resident of Denver, or has been.
Champions get the tough questions.
Yeah. For some reason, and I don't know, for me it's between Detroit and Chicago. She does play, I've actually seen her play in Detroit at the Detroit Jazz Festival, and it felt like that was a hometown audience. I have also seen her play at the Chicago Jazz Festival at Pritzker Pavilion, and
wherever Diane Reeves performs, it's a hometown.
I think I would know because I'm kind of a nerd on Chicago jazz. Like I'm kind of like, if someone was born there, I think I know it at this point. But I've never heard Diane Reeves being discussed in those kinds of circles. So I'm going to go with C, Detroit.
That is correct. Diane Reeves was indeed born in the great city of Detroit, Michigan. Andromeda. NEA Jazz Master. Another NEA Jazz Master is up in this question. NEA Jazz Master drummer Billy Hart, also known as Jabali. Billy Hart's long-standing quintet includes Ethan Iverson on piano, Mark Turner on tenor saxophone, and who on the bass? Would that be A, Ben Street, B, Harish Raghavan, C, Rasan Carter, D, Yasushi Nakamura, or E, Matt Penman?
I think it's D, Yasushi Nakamura.
That is incorrect. And now Matt has an opportunity to steal the question. Matt, NEA Jazz Master drummer Billy Hart's long-standing quintet includes Ethan Iverson on piano, Mark Turner on tenor saxophone, and who on the bass? Would that be A, Ben Street, B, Harish Raghavan, C, Rasan Carter, D, Yasushi Nakamura has been eliminated, or E, Matt Penman?
So this one is pretty easy for me because I've seen this band at the Vanguard a couple times and have at least one of the recordings. The answer is A, Ben Street.
That is correct. The answer is indeed Ben Street. So Matt, you're up next. Matt stole that point, Andromeda. Time to catch up. Matt, vocalist Carmen Lundy has composed and published over 40 of her own songs. Which of the following artists have recorded her songs? Would that be A, Charles Lloyd, B, Straight Ahead, C, Etienne Charles, D, the late Mulgrew Miller, or E, the late Roy Hargrove?
So this is hard. I'm a big fan of Carmen Lundy. She did a little vocal cameo on Casa Overall's first record. And I think he was doing some touring with her at that time. Shout out to Casa. I just saw him at Newport doing his debut there. For me, it's between C, D, and E. I don't think Charles Lloyd is covered. I don't think Straight Ahead is a vocal group, but I don't know who they are or their discography. I feel like, the person that I most associate Carmen Lundy with is Mulgrew Miller, but I don't know. I'm going to go with D. Mulgrew Miller.
That is incorrect. And Andromeda will have a chance to steal the point. Andromeda, vocalist Carmen Lundy has composed and published over 40 songs. Which of the following artists have recorded her songs? Would that be A, Charles Lloyd, B, Straight Ahead, C, Etienne Charles, D, Mulgrew Miller, or E, Roy Hargrove?
I think B, Straight Ahead.
And that is correct. That is correct. Straight Ahead is the band that gave us the great Regina Carter.
Yep.
And it's also the band that my dear friend Marion Hayden played the bass in that band. So that is indeed correct, Andromeda. Today's mid-show break is brought to you by Imani Records, with a spotlight on pianist and composer Orrin Evans and his Captain Black Big Band, with vocalists Lisa Fisher, Bilal, Paul Lost, Joanna Pascal, for the project Walk a Mile in My Shoe, the latest from Orrin Evans and the Captain Black Big Band. This is the 5th album from the seasoned, twice Grammy-nominated powerhouse ensemble known as the Captain Black Big Band. It's a spirited reflection on Orrin Evans' life journey with neurofibromatosis of his left foot as a younger man. Orrin Evans and the Captain Black Big Band, Walk a Mile in My Shoe, is available at Bandcamp and everywhere you can listen to music. Also available in CD and digital format. Andromeda, you've been with us before, so you've answered our initial basic mid-show question as far as how you fell in love with jazz. But let me ask you, what excites you about hosting jazz radio on Sirius XM's Real Jazz channel?
That's such a great question. There's two things that I really, really love about being a radio host on Sirius XM Real Jazz. One is being able to keep the memory alive of so many of the great artists who are masters of this music that have left us, and making sure that people that are maybe tuning into jazz radio for the first time never forget these incredible artists that have come before us. And at the same time, the other thing that excites me is being able to introduce people to living jazz artists, because I don't want jazz to become like a museum piece. I want people to still go out and hear live jazz and support the jazz community. So being able to introduce incredibly talented new artists is something that I'm really passionate about as well.
Well, speaking of new or younger artists, Matt Merewitz mentioned earlier that he heard Casa Overall at Newport. Matt, tell us, how was your Newport Jazz Festival experience?
I have to say that I had some real revelations, and more often than not, I was being amazed by Black women. There was a incredible rapper named No Name who I'd known from the Tiny Desk concert. She played a riveting set. Maybe not someone who would consider, a young jazz musician, but definitely somebody on the rise and an immense talent. And then I saw this other woman who I'd previously seen earlier this year at the Big Ears Festival named Aja Monet, who's a spoken word artist. She had a killer band with Justin Brown on drums, and Logan Richardson on saxophone. I can't recall the other players, but that was a incredibly commanding performance, and just her presence and her poise really impressed me a lot. So I definitely think that those two were big standouts for me.
All right. Well, there was a Matt Merewitz experience at the Newport Jazz Festival. And our record of the week comes from the composer, arranger, Darcy James Argue. It's a 2-CD set titled Dynamic Maximum Tension, and it features, amongst others, the great vocalist Cecile McLaurin-Salvant, the wonderful trumpeter Ingrid Jensen, and the trombonist Ryan Keberly. This is brand new from Darcy James Argue, our record of the week. Andromeda, you're up next. Andromeda, on August 3rd,
Okay.
jazz master bassist Ron Carter was inducted into which Jazz Hall of Fame? Would that have been A, Michigan, B, Detroit, C, Pontiac, Michigan, D, the Eastman School of Music, or E, Alabama?
Ooh. And I did hear about this, and I should have paid more attention, clearly. I'll go with B, Detroit.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. That was it, but that would have been a really good guess, an obvious guess.
Right.
But Matt, on August 3rd, NEA Jazz Master bassist Ron Carter was inducted into which Jazz Hall of Fame? Would that have been A, Michigan, B, Detroit has been eliminated, C, Pontiac, Michigan, D, the Eastman School of Music, or E, Alabama?
So I know this, but only because I have a Google alert on the term jazz musician, because for my job as a publicist, it's important for me to see where they're publishing stories about jazz outside the realm of the normal. And it is E, the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame.
I didn't even know they had a Hall of Fame in Alabama.
Right. That was frankly the most seemingly unlikely of all the possible answers there. But yes, it was the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame. No offense to Alabama.
No offense. I just didn't think so.
All right, Matt, are you ready for question number 7? Trumpeter Fats Navarro's piece, Ice Freezes Red, is based on what standard tune? Would that be A, I Got Rhythm, B, Embraceable You, C, Indiana, D, There Will Never Be Another You, or E, All God's Children Got Rhythm?
Man, this is out. This is so in. This is out. Let's see. I mean, this is a total guess. I can't imagine it would. Yeah, I'm gonna go with B, Embraceable You.
That is incorrect. And, as I say, the questions, the degree of difficulty ramps up for the champions. So let's see what our challenger has for this particular question. Andromeda.
Yeah.
The great trumpeter Fats Navarro's tune, Ice Freezes Red, quite a title too, is based on what standard tune? Would that be A, I Got Rhythm, B, Embraceable You, C, Indiana, D, There Will Never Be Another You, or E, All God's Children Got Rhythm? And B has been eliminated.
Right. I'm going to go with C, Indiana.
That is correct.
Literally just guessed.
At Tomorrow's Ice Freezes Red is based on Indiana.
Okay, great.
All right, so Andromeda has closed the gap a bit. Your turn, Matt. Oh, excuse me, your turn, Andromeda.
Oh, okay.
Andromeda, Charlie Parker's tune, Anthropology, is based on what pop standard? Is Anthropology based on A, I Got Rhythm, B, Indiana, C, I'll Remember April, D, Fool's Fancy, or E, Embraceable You?
I'm trying to hear it in my head. And I think it's Rhythm Changes. A, I Got Rhythm.
That is correct. Anthropology is based on I Got Rhythm. All right, Matt, you're up next. The score is tied. Matt, trumpeter, and I should add keyboardist and vocalist and any manner of other instruments that he plays. But trumpeter Nicholas Payton was given his first steady gig by which of the following bands or band leaders? Would that have been A, Ellis Marsalis, B, Danny Barker, C, the Rebirth Brass Band, D, Marcus Roberts, or E, Edward Kid Jordan, the late great saxophonist?
Boy, this is hard. I mean, I'm definitely not Kid Jordan, 2 out. Marcus Roberts is from Florida, and I don't think he was living in New Orleans at the time, although it could have been. Rebirth just doesn't seem like Nicholas was. I never associated him, so that puts us between A and B. Oh man. Oh, this is hard. It seems like, I don't know. It feels like the obvious answer is Ellis Marsalis, but I'm going to go with the less obvious answer, B, Danny Barker.
And your instincts did indeed serve you correctly. It was Danny Barker that gave Nicholas Payton his first steady gig. The great guitarist, the late great guitarist, Danny Barker. All right, Andromeda. As a teenager, NEA jazz master saxophonist Charles Lloyd, who was from Memphis, Tennessee, and who was recently voted into the Downbeat Magazine Hall of Fame, played jazz with fellow Memphis musicians saxophonist George Coleman, Frank Strozier, his childhood friend trumpeter Booker Little, and which of the following pianists? Would that have been A, Calvin Newborn, B, Harold Mayburn, C, Phineas Newborn Jr., or as they call him in Memphis, Finest Newborn Jr., D, Tony Thomas, or E, W.C. Handy?
Charles Lloyd. I'm stuck between two here. I'm going to go with B, Harold Mayburn.
That is correct. It was indeed Harold Mayburn that Charles Lloyd played with as a young musician out of Memphis. And the score is tied. And we are in sudden death. And Matt will go first. And whomever answers the question first will win this competition. You ready, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Who wrote the bebop tune Ornithology? Would that have been A, Fats Navarro, B, Charlie Parker, C, Benny Harris, D, Howard McGee, or E, Dizzy Gillespie?
Wow. I mean, wow. This is rough.
You're the champion. You get the rough ones.
Yeah. So the only ornithology, the only reason I would select this name is because, now, are you talking about Benny Harris, the trombonist? Or is that a different Benny Harris?
The trumpet player known as Little Benny Harris.
Trumpet player. Okay. I mean, that strikes me as possible because it's the only non-obvious choice. All four of the other candidates are closely associated with kind of the writing of bebop heads around Minton's and around the 52nd Street theme scene. I just I don't think it's Fats Navarro. I don't think it's Howard McGee. For me, it's between Bird, Benny, and Dizzy. I mean, it's widely credited to Charlie Parker, but that's not always accurate. I don't know. I just think this is a trick question, so I'm going to go with the unobvious answer, C, Benny Harris.
That is correct. And through the process of elimination, Matt Merewitz continues as our reigning champion. Congratulations to Matt Merewitz on winning our 60th episode of Jazzology. We encourage each and every one of you to try your hand and play Jazzology. And if anyone watching would like to become a contestant on Jazzology, simply click the link below and fill out the form. You must be 18 years old or older, and be sure to follow us on social media at Jazzology Trivia Show to get all the latest news and updates. Thanks so much to Matt and Andromeda for a spirited competition that went to sudden death. And to everyone who joined us for our 60th episode of Jazzology today. Remember, you can check out Jazzology every other Friday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you missed the show live, you can find the archive on the Savage Content YouTube channel. Thank you, Matt and Andromeda. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Jazzology.